All right, so this would be CMP, Carolina Motorsports Park, Kershaw, South Carolina. Um, Now, this was in 2019, and they, from what I've heard, they just finished repaving. They've run a few races on the new pavement, but this track it was a cheese grater, and it was always sandy because the soil, if you can call it that. You can see over here on the side. What I'm going to do is the kind of the pace lap. I just talk through it, and then I'm going to scroll forward. It took 3, 4, 5 laps to really get the tires heated up, cleaned off, just because they picked up so much of that sand, not so much marbles. And the first few laps are almost irrelevant because I can't catch an apex to save my life because the car just won't grip. So we'll go ahead and start it. Let me play with the sound too. It should be good, I guess. All right, you can see even here where Lee was walking, just these sand piles, basically. And so we're in a different grid area because they had cars on track, so it was helping pit in, pit out. So I don't know. This probably impound of some kind. So we're going to head out. I'll point out the pit entry and exit are on the main straightaway on the left-hand side. Piles of sand. So that would be pit in, really after a hard right-hand corner. Fairly long pit road. There's a break in the gate kind of right in here. Coming up to timing, start finish. That's about the time you're going to start thinking about braking for this hard left-hander. I'm not as familiar with I should have pulled up a map. Maybe I'll do it at the end. Turn labeling here. This track's a whole lot simpler than Corvette Museum, and there's some nuance to it, but it's flat. If anything, it seems like it's off camber in places. This back section is probably the hardest part to get right. Rumble strips aren't too bad. Typically, those get rough on exit, but this is a long arcing right-hander, and what I used to use was kind of this black line and that patch to hit a really late apex onto this back straightaway. Of course, that's going to be gone with the repave, so we'll just have to play it by ear. This, if you got the exit out of that long right-hander correct, you'd be wound up all she could do in 4th gear, and about the time you're hitting kind of this low spot, dab a brake, and I was going down to 3rd to catch this apex. I've seen people go off here and it can get catastrophic. A little bit rougher gators on the exit, and now you're just kind of driving the car. And this, you can see there's a tiny bit of elevation, but you can see almost the whole track. There's no blind corners per se. This one, again, going all she'll do. And I've tried to go through here without lifting, and I usually catch that inside rumble strip too hard, and it shoots the car sideways. I spun once here in front of freaking half the field, but you're going to be hauling the mail. So this, you can do a double downshift or just straight to 2nd, a little bit late on the apex. And they've got 2 different configurations here. There's an earlier piece, which seems like we don't use that much, and then this kind of later, longer right-hander. And sort of a double apex, but almost when you get the speed up and the tires are gripping, it's almost a single arc through that corner. And now we're heading into the last short straightaway, hard right-hander onto the front stretch. Easy to get this one wrong, and these, look at the scalloping here. You get out on these, the Rocket, it'd probably survive it, but man, it's jarring. It's kind of like some of those rumble strips in and around Deception, and I've spun here by getting out on these strips so much that it just upset the Lotus so bad. Big spinner. So if you're gonna air just to the, just kissing these on exit, but it does set up for this long front straightaway. I'll play it through for just a second so you can see pit in going by, and then I'm going to jump forward. So this guy's Scott in the Camaro. He's run this track a million times, so we had kind of a deal. Yeah, I'm yapping. I was going to follow his line. And so it looks like, yeah, good luck, but I do slowly catch him up. So you can see pit in, fairly narrow pit lane, and they'll probably have a pit lane speed limit really quick on entry. So you're going to have to get it woed up. All right, let's jump ahead. That's probably good enough. Plus 30. Coming onto the front straightaway. Now the tires are warmed up finally. Let me go back. Man, this is terrible production, right? Exit in that corner. Big rumble strips. Just kiss them onto the front straightaway. Fourth gear, wound up, getting towards start-finish line. Good time to start braking. The rocket maybe a little bit later. Third, hard left-hander, catch that apex. Some room on exit. But if you use too much of it, it screws you up for the next couple corners. There are guys that use what they call the grass crete over here. As you come into this next left-hander, you can see there's like that, I don't even know what it is, some kind of plastic. The rocket, it may help to cheat because opening up this corner even a little bit can help carry a little bit more speed through it onto a short chute. But right over here, see where that gets used, those little green things? I've seen cars go off here and pile it into those tires hard, so don't do that. Alright, I'm still really getting the car up to where I want it, temperature-wise, tire-wise. So generally into that short left-hander, right-hander, almost like a chicane. I didn't downshift until I was in the middle of it, and I think the next lap's a better representation. If it's not, it's busy if you do it that way, or you can downshift before that little chicane. See what I mean? You're hauling the mail. Dab a brake, third gear, roll it in, really catch that apex. I kind of missed it. Use a little bit more of that inside rumble strip, and now just driving the car. Pretty wide, good passing zones, into the kink. Trying to just kiss it. That wasn't bad. You hit too much of it, it's a pretty big bump. It's not rumbly, it's just a bump, and it can shoot the car sideways. Remember, this is when the Lotus had the rear end problem. It was, so look at that, high speed loose under throttle, big time. And that's been fixed. So that's not that bad of a corner. Accelerating all the way through. Hard braking into the right-hander, big rumble strips on exit. Catch the inside, yes. Kiss these, yes. Not bad. There's pit in one more time. So not a super long track either. That was straight to second because it's tighter than it looks. Leave a little room on exit so it doesn't screw you up for the next pair of corners. Grass crete. I missed that one by a little bit. Big rumble strips on exit. And now here, let's see if I don't leave it in third through this little chicane, if you want to call it that. There you go. And then I would catch second right in the middle because it's braking again. Because it just let the car kind of drift all the way out. But it's easy to get that wrong. That patch and then that black line really helped me. Those will be gone. Downhill, so get a little boost of acceleration. About the bottom of the hill, dab a brake, right-hander, still not quite getting it. I can get a little more of that, but give yourself a little room on exit. Coming into the kink, high-speed cars right below by us. You can see Scott just kissed it. His car had a lot more compliance than the Lotus. Third, second, that time you can go straight to second. This doesn't really decrease, but it's more than 180 degrees, or more than 90 degrees, certainly. And then just this, you kind of play the throttle and almost a constant, look, there's that damn looseness again. If you get it right, it's almost a constant radius expanding on exit as you accelerate. This corner's a little more than 92, it's deceiving. I think Scott got tired of me catching up to him, so he let me go. But it was cool of him to let me follow his line. you can see, really a much simpler track. This is really the only blind-ish corner, but it's not horrible. All right, so here I'm going in third, and I hit the first little left-hander in third. Car settles for just a second, right to second gear. That could be too busy if you don't like it. Let it eat all the way to the outside part. There's that patch, following the black line. Catching third even before exit tells you got that pretty well right. Can he get the apex? No, he cannot. And I don't know what they've changed as far as the rumble strips either. Hopefully nothing. It was just a repave, but it should give the track a lot more grip and be a lot less of a cheese grater. Well, that wasn't so bad. Just that little bump. You just bump it going through the kink. Throttle so much to keep the back end from breaking loose at 90 miles an hour. A little too much of the inside rumble strip there. It's almost just breathing it through there to make sure it's going to make that corner. I think Michael and I were there one time when a Volkswagen lost it and just smashed into that bridge. And I think that was about it. I started catching a ton of traffic, so I just basically called it. So it's really a much, much simpler track as far as learning it quick. There is some nuance to it, but not a ton. Is it going to be better for the rocket? I mean, there are a few high-speed sections, so like here, we'll get eaten alive. But at least if you can get through that high-speed right-hander at a decent rate, it should be okay. I think this was one of those Lexus actual track day cars. It was pretty quick. If we can get through here at a decent rate, and this is going to be the section of the track where we might be able to make a little bit of money, because it is a lot slower, more technical. Braking zones. Now all that work, you might get a pass. Look at the car. You might get a pass in, and they'll probably blow right back by you on the straightaway. But it is what it is. And notice, I mean, it's fairly stable in the slow speed right-handers. It's the high speed, wide open throttle, man. The back end just wanted to take off. And it's because that cross member was broken, finally figured out. Yeah, I'll do one more lap. As the tires get greasy, it makes the car on exit a little bit wider. Man, that was terrible. Those are really rough on exit, those rumble strips. Probably roll through that high-speed right-hander in fourth gear, but it would hurt your exit. I think you're going to want to go to third to get a little bit more of the oomph out of that corner. See all the skid marks. People bombing in here too fast. Will the back end stay put? there you go. CMP, a much easier track, a little more conducive to the Red Rocket. Woo! That, I don't recall that, Senator. Let's watch that again. That was exciting. And the end of June, man, it's going to be hot. Staying hydrated, hot. Temperature on the tires and the track, hot, greasy, which may help us as well. What did I do wrong here? Too hard on the gas. Whoa. Yeah, you can almost feel it. The car's just wanting to slide a bit more as the tires are getting a little too hot now. I had to breathe it. And that right-hander has to not go off track left. Sounds like I've had enough at this point. Yep, that's the end of that one. Right, so I'll post this and send you guys the link, and looking forward to June at CMP.